A very good morning to everyone. Am I audible to all? Yes, students, am I audible to everyone? Okay, Akarshan. Okay, yes, good morning. Good morning, Shubham. Yes, good morning, Faiz. Okay, all right. So everyone is present over here. So what we have done in the previous session? Yes, anyone? So we have completed unit 1. We have done experiment 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. So are you all clear about the concepts of arrays, how for each loop is used, and what are abstract classes and methods? How will you perform inheritance? And lastly, how will you perform exception handling with the help of try catch block? Okay, Shubhankar, thank you. So everyone is clear about that. So anyone is having any kind of confusion, so let me know. Else I'll give you some other things. Okay, Akarshan, great. All right. So no one is having any kind of doubt? Yes, the rest of the students is okay. All right. So today the topic we are going to start is constructors. So can anyone tell me what are constructors? See, the constructors are block of codes, okay, to initialize variables, okay. So block of codes similar to method. Okay, we can say one thing about constructors is that these are the block of codes which are similar to the method and these and same name as that of the class. Yes, very true. It is a special method which is used to initialize the object. So another property is used to initialize the objects. All right. What another thing? Yes, Akarshan have mentioned that it is used to set the initial values for the object attributes and it has same name as that of the class. So these are some of the properties of the constructor that these are the block of codes which is similar to method. It is called whenever an instance of the class is created and at the time of calling constructor, memory for the object is allocated in the memory. All right, and it is a special type of method which is used to initialize the object and every time an object is created by using the keyword which is new. So every time a constructor is created using the new keyword, at least one constructor is called. Whenever you use the new keyword during the programming, so at least one constructor is called. So in Java, it calls a default constructor if there is no other constructor available in the class. Then Java compiler provides a default constructor by default. Okay, so when you haven't defined any constructor, the Java compiler will provide a default constructor by its own. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, so there are some rules for creating Java constructor. So we have already mentioned that, but let me just quickly remind that. Okay, so constructor's name must be same as the name of its class. All right. Second is a constructor must have no explicit return type. It doesn't return any value. Third is a Java constructor cannot be abstract, static, final, or synchronized. So we cannot use these keywords like abstract, static, final, and synchronized with the constructor. Yes, everyone clear? Okay, so we have two types of constructor. One is the default constructor, all right, and second is the parameterized constructor. So what is the basic difference between the parameterized and the default constructor? Yes, everyone, anyone wants to guess? Yes, anyone? Okay, we pass parameters in the parameter. Okay, Shubhankar. So my question was, what is the basic difference between the default constructor and the parameterized constructor? Okay, so Shubhankar, sorry, Akashan has already answered it that in the parameterized constructor, we pass the parameters. Yes, and in the default constructor, a constructor is called the default constructor when it doesn't have any parameters. Okay, and the parameterized constructor, when we have specific number of parameters in it, it is known as parameterized constructor. Yes, everyone, clear? Okay, so what is the basic syntax of the constructor? Yes, anyone? Okay, so let us just see how the constructor works. Okay, okay, class name and this class name resource. Yes, okay, just a moment. Okay, so are you all able to see the screen? Yes, everyone? Okay, so we are going to write a program over here where we will define how a constructor works. So suppose we have over here a public class, hello world, clear? So we are going to provide the class attribute over here. So suppose I'm writing over here int x, then I'm going to write over here a class constructor. So what would be my class constructor? Yes, anyone? Anyone? Okay, hello world. Yes. So because the class name is hello world, so the constructor name would be same as that of the class name. Okay, hello world. Okay. So what we are going to do in it? Yes, what we are going to do in it? So we are going to provide we have defined in the class. Okay, so suppose I'm giving a value over here int sorry, int x is given over here, so x is equal to suppose 6. All right, so I have set the initial value for x, then the main function public static void main string arguments, then what I will do over here? Yes, anyone? Initialize the parameters. Okay, okay, parameter initialization was done. Yes, now I will create the object of the class over here. So how I will create that? Hello, hello world, hello world is equal my object, suppose I'm giving it the name, is equal to what I will write over here now? Yes, very good, the new keyword, so new and hello world. Okay, so this is the call for the constructor and here it will print system.out.println hello world. So what will it print over here? Yes, anyone? What will it print? It will print 6, but here it is written over here hello world. So what should I write over here? So the call for the constructor, okay, constructor value print my object dot x true. Yes, true. So shall we execute the program? Okay, so here it is providing the value of the x which is initialized in the constructor, that is x is equal to 6 and the output is 6, right? Yes, everyone. Did you understand how the constructor works? Okay, got it. Great. Okay, so no confusion about the constructors? Yes, everyone, no confusion, right? Okay, so what else we are going to discuss today is method overloading. So have you all heard about method overloading? So can anyone tell me what is method overloading? Okay, so method overloading is the concept whenever a class has multiple methods having same name but different parameters. Okay, same name but different parameters. Then it is known as method overloading. All right. What else? If you have to perform only one operation which is having the same name of the methods, it increases the readability of the program, which is also the advantage of method overloading. It helps in increasing the readability of the program. You get a clear overview of the program. All right. Suppose, for example, if you have to perform addition operation for the given numbers. Okay. So there can be any number of arguments present over here. All right. So if you write a method over here, suppose a int comma int. Okay. For the two parameters. So here I'm having two parameters. Similarly, you will define a method, another method over here. For example, b, and it is having three parameters. What will be the confusion? Yes, anyone? Then it may be difficult for you as well as anyone or any other programmer to analyze that how many methods are there, because the name differs. Multiple methods having same name but different parameters, then the concept of method overloading is performed. All right. Right. And the advantage of method overloading is it increases this readability of the program. So with the help of method overloading, readability of the program gets increased. Clear? So we have two ways in which method overloading can be done. Yes, anyone? Two ways? Okay. So one way is by changing the number of elements. Okay, so by changing the number of arguments means, for example, we have created two methods. Okay, in first method we perform addition, and in second method we perform addition. In first method we perform addition of two numbers, and in the second method we perform addition of three numbers. Okay, so in this we will change the number of arguments present in the particular program, and the second is by changing the data type. Okay, we will change the data type associated with the methods. Okay, for example, we will use int, we will use double. Clear? So in this way we will perform method overloading. Yes, everyone clear? Okay, so let me just quickly show you the program. Okay, so here it is written, the program. Okay, so we have a class over here that is adder, and we have defined the static int add. Okay, addition method, and we have given over here the two parameters, int a and int b, and it will return the sum of these two integers. Okay, int a and b. Now in the second, we have again defined the same method int add, but we have defined over here three variables, int a, b and c, and it will return the sum of a, b and c. Okay, so while overriding the test overloading 1, this is the overloading method, then public static void main class, then it will print adder dot add 11 11. Okay, this object is called for, this method is called for, yes everyone, method call for, yes anyone, for the first addition method, and the second we have passed three arguments for the second one. Okay, so while I'll compile and run this program, we will get the outputs. What will be the outputs? Yes anyone? 22. Okay, 22 and 33. Okay, let's check it out. Yes, the output is 22 and 33. So we have changed the number of arguments and we have performed method overloading. Clear? Yes, everyone clear? Yes, okay. So what we will do in case of the second type, by changing data type of arguments, how you will perform that? Yes, anyone? Using int and double, very good. Okay, so we have different methods defined over here. See, we have again the same class adder, int add, addition method, the same one, int a and b, and it will return a plus b, their sum in, and the second one is double add. Okay, so double a, double b. Now what is the difference over here? We have same number of arguments. Okay, only change of data type is there, but the argument number is same. Is it true? Yes everyone. Okay, so then again the test overloading class 2. Okay, public static void main, it will call for the methods adder dot add the same parameters and adder dot add this, the double variables. Okay, so double will take the decimal values. True or not? Yes, everyone. True. Okay. Compile and run this program and check out the outputs. Okay. So first is same 22 and third one is 24.9. Clear? So we have performed here method overloading by changing the data type of the particular arguments. Yes, everyone clear? Okay, so far we have completed constructors and method overloading. So anyone having any kind of confusion in the two topics? Yes, anyone? Okay, no. So third type we are going to do today is method overriding. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is the difference between the method overloading and method overriding? Yes, anyone? The difference between method overloading and method overriding? See what we have in overloading. If a class have multiple methods which have same name but different parameters. Okay, overload is in compilation in overloading both. It's just a moment. Overriding is in runtime. Okay, true. Okay. So what happens in method overriding if the subclass or the child class have same method as declared in the parent class. Okay. Same method in both same method in both child class and parent class. Okay, so it is basically used to provide the specific implementation of a method which is already provided in its superclass. Suppose we have defined the method over in the parent class, same method is defined in the child class. Okay, then we can call it method overriding. Yes, everyone clear? Okay, and it is used for runtime polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? Yes, anyone? What is polymorphism? Only one function and many forms. Yes, it occurs when we have many classes that are related to each other by inheritance. True? Yes, Pache? True? Okay. So, what are the usage of Java method overriding? Okay, so one we have defined that it is used to provide the specific implementation of a method and which is also provided in its superclass. So both the child and the same methods and it is used for the runtime polymorphism. So there are some rules for Java method overriding. So what it can be? Okay, one thing is the method must have the same name as the parent class. Okay, so same method name. What else? Also, the method will have the same parameters in the parent class. So, same parameters. And the third one is there must be an is a relationship. So, can anyone tell me what is a relationship? Yes, what is a relationship? See, we have is a relationship in inheritance. Name. Okay, so we have defined in the inheritance concept that the all the properties or all the attributes methods of the parent class will be inherited by child class. So there is a concept of is a relationship which is similar to inheritance. Okay, so it will inherit the methods in the parent class. The child class will inherit all those methods. So we have same method both in the parent and the child class. So it follows the concept of inheritance as well. Okay, so we can perform method overriding with inheritance. Yes, right? Yes, everyone. Any confusion over it? Okay, okay. So firstly we'll check a program where method overriding was not performed. Okay, and then after we'll check a program where method overriding is done. Clear? So let's check it out. Okay, so are you able to see my screen? Okay, so check over here. We have written. Okay, so I have mentioned a program over here without method overriding. Suppose we have a class defined over here that is vehicle. We have a method defined over here that is void run. Okay, so method is run. It will print out the statement that is vehicle is running. Clear? So we have ended the parent class over here, and then the child class will extend the parent class, that is class bike extends the vehicle class, and here no method is defined. Okay, this is without the method overriding. So no same method is defined over here, only the main function is created. Okay, and object of the child class is created, and object is called, okay, method is called, run method is called with the help of that object, and we will compile and run and check out the results. So it will print vehicle is running. So here we doesn't perform method overriding, right? Yes, everyone, right? Okay, so what happens when we perform this method overriding? Okay, in that case, we have to give the same method in the child class as well. So clearly, we have this parent class, class vehicle, void run, and it will print vehicle is running. In the second class, we will created a child class bike2 extends vehicle, and again the same method as in the parent class, and it will print bike is running safely. So in the main class we created the object of the child class and the method run is called. Okay, so can anyone tell me what will be the output of the program? Yes, anyone? What will be the output? Yes, anyone? Yes, Shubhankar, Akarshan. What will be the output, bache? Bike is running safely. Okay, so let's check it out. Compile and run. Okay, so bike is running safely. Okay, so can anyone tell me what happened over here? Okay, yes, Akarshan, Shubhankar, what we have done over here? Yes, child run superimposed parent run. Okay, it overrided the parent class. Okay, so it only printed the method that is present in the child class. Why? Yes, why? Yes, Akarshan, why? Why only the statement bike is running safely is printed? Why not vehicle is running? Okay, overriding, that's why. Okay, it was method overriding, but we have created the object for the child class only. We haven't called for the parent class, right? Okay, all right. So I guess you all have been cleared about the concepts about the constructors, method overloading and method overriding. Yes, clear about them? Clear. Okay. So I'm giving you a question over here. Okay. So just try it out. Okay, so I have given you a question over here that you have to write a program to print the names of the students by creating a student class, right? And if no name is passed while creating an object of student class, then the name should be unknown. Okay, otherwise the name should be equal to the string value that is passed during the creation of the objects in the student class. So let me just give you a hint about it, how you will perform this. You have to perform it by using constructor overloading. Okay. So now what is constructor overloading? So basically we have defined over in Java, the constructor is a is just like a method and it has same name as that of the class, but it is without the return type. It doesn't return any value, so it can also be overloaded like the Java methods. Okay, you can overload like we have defined over method overloading over here, so you can also do constructor overloading in Java. Okay, so it can so basically constructor overloading in Java is a technique which have more than one constructor with, okay, more than, okay. So in this way you can perform this question. Okay, so just try it out, and if you find any problem just let me know. Okay, so basically what you have to do is you have to create a class over here, define some attributes over here, then you have to create two arguments about the constructor. Okay, and then you will create the third constructor and then define a method over here, and in the main you will call for those methods. All right, yes, everyone clear? Okay, so just try it out, and those who will complete this question just let me know. I'll allow them to share their screen. All right, okay, all right. Okay, so I have given you a hint over here. You have to create a class student over here. Okay, then string name and then student string n, and n is equal to n. So what is this student over here? The constructor. Okay, all right. Yes, everyone. Have you completed this question of constructor overloading? Yes, Akarshan, are you trying? Yes, Shubhankar. Okay, almost complete. Okay, all right. Okay, so Shubhankar, are you done? Okay. Yes, any other student? Okay. So Shubhankar, just present your over your screen. Okay. Okay, dear, just explain what you have done in this program, how the constructor overloading has been performed.
यस मैम।
Yes.
मैम सबसे पहले मैंने स्कैनर यूटिलिटी लाइब्रेरी इंपोर्ट किया है और एक क्लास
Okay.
बनाया के नाम से, जिसमें मेरा
Hmm.
एक पैरामीटर है एफ नेम जो स्ट्रिंग है।
Hmm. Hmm.
उसके बाद उसमें मैंने दो कंस्ट्रक्टर बनाए हैं। जब अगर
Hmm.
यूजर कोई चीज कुछ भी पास नहीं किया कंस्ट्रक्टर में, तो मैं उसे
Hmm.
अननोन से फिल कर दूंगा एफ नेम को, और अगर
Okay.
उसने स्ट्रिंग पास किया तो वो स्ट्रिंग को मैं एफ नेम में उस ऑब्जेक्ट के एफ नेम में स्टोर कर दूंगा।
All
उसके
right.
बाद मेन में स्कैनर क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया और
Hmm.
यूजर से स्ट्रिंग ली है
Hmm.
और उसके बाद एक नया ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया है जिसमें मैंने यहाँ पे नेक्स्ट वाले कंस्ट्रक्टर को कॉल किया जिसमें स्ट्रिंग यूजर पास कर रहा है, उसके बाद
Okay.
सीधा से प्रिंट करा दिया ऑब्जेक्ट के नेम से।
Okay. So what is the constructor name over here?
मैम यहाँ पे हमने कंस्ट्रक्टर यूज किया है स्ट्रिंग एस वाले जिसमें हमारे पैरामीटर हमने यहाँ पे एस जो हमारे यहाँ पे स्ट्रिंग था, तो हम
Hmm.
ये वाली कंस्ट्रक्टर यूज कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे हमने स्ट्रिंग एस पास किया है, जो हमारा फंक्शन सिग्नेचर है वो मैच करना था इससे। तो ये वाला जो
Hmm.
हमारा दिस कंस्ट्रक्टर इज मैचिंग अ फंक्शन signature, so it will be
Okay.
called, not this one.
Okay. So tell me one thing. The constructor name should be same as that of the class.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So which is the main
Otherwise,
one?
it won't be a constructor. It would be like a functionality, a function.
Okay. So it would be like a functionality or a function. Okay, great. So you have taken a user input over here. So the right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you have to, or if you need to perform it without taking the user input, how you will do that?
Okay. So let's say let's make another object in which we won't be needing user input. Let's
Yes.
let's use the first constructor where we
Okay.
won't be passing anything. Okay. And let's print that one on. Let's say this one. Compile. लाइक पहले वाले जो हमने कंस्ट्रक्टर यूज किया जिसमें हमने यूजर से कोई इनपुट नहीं लिए, तो
Hmm.
उस दिस डिफॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर जो
Okay.
हमने यहाँ पे ओवरराइड किया है, जो हमने यहाँ पे ओवरराइड कर दिया, हमने सिस्टम के जो कंस्ट्रक्टर जो डिफॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर यूज करता है उससे हमने ओवरराइड करके हमने स्पेसिफिकली उससे
Okay.
बोला कि यू हैव टू डू दिस वर्क इफ
Okay.
कंस्ट्रक्टर विदाउट एनी पैरामीटर्स आर बीइंग कॉल्ड। तो उसने यहाँ पे एफ नेम जो इस ऑब्जेक्ट का है उसे
Hmm.
इसने अननोन सेट कर दिया है।
All right. Okay. Great work, Shubham. Shubhankar, sorry. All right. So we'll meet in the next session and we'll try some more examples over it. Okay.
ओके मैम।
Okay. Thank you. All right. You can all leave the session and we'll meet in the next session. All right.